All right, so the first game of the June 1992 LSAT tells us that John is receiving 1 grade for 6 courses: economics, geology, history, Italian, physics, and Russian. All right, so again, the courses are economics, geology, history, Italian, physics, and Russian. From highest to lowest, the possible grades are A, B, C, D, and E. E is the only failing grade. 2 letter grades are consecutive if and only if they are adjacent in the alphabet. All right, so our base for this game then is going to be our grades, A, B, C, D, and E. And again, keep in mind that E here is our only failing grade. So again, A and B would be consecutive, B, C, C, D, D, E. All right, so now let's take a look at the conditions here. The first condition tells us John's grades in geology and physics are consecutive. All right, so we don't know in which order, we just know they're going to be next to each other. Moving on to condition 2, his grades in Italian and Russian are consecutive. Again, don't know the order, but they must be next to each other. Moving on to condition number 3. He receives a higher grade in economics than he receives in history. So our grade in economics is higher than history, which tells us that we can't have history get an A and we can't have economics fail. And the fourth and final condition tells us that he receives a higher grade in geology than in physics. So we know geology is receiving a higher grade than physics. Combining that with rule number 1 tells us that it's actually going to be GP, the box. So again, we know physics can't receive an A and geology cannot receive a failing grade or cannot receive an E. And that would be the setup for this game. Again, keep in mind that nothing tells us that John must receive at least 1 of each grade. So it's possible that as we go through this game, we don't see any A's, we don't see any fails. Again, nothing says at least 1 of each grade is present, so important to keep that in mind as you progress. Hope this was helpful. Let's move on to the next game.